Hello, Macadorish Football Fan TV. This is the starting 11 show for Republic of Ireland versus Scotland in the UEFA Nations League at the Aviva Stadium tomorrow. So, the team I'm going to go with, I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm going to go in goals. I'm going to give him the nod this time. Mark Travers, I think he's come off the back of a really good season with Bournemouth, and he's been very unlucky not to be picked for any games for Ireland recently. And I think this is a good opportunity to bring him in and show what he could do for this Irish team. Kelleher, for me, he's done well in the two games, but I'd rather have a keeper who's been playing all season and just see what he can do. I feel as though he's never really had a chance to make amends for that Serbia game, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to come in and do well. So I would love to see Mark make a start in this game. And again, just if he does start and he does well, this could be an opportunity for him to come in and keep doing well, because the likelihood is he's going to be a Premier League goalkeeper next season. So if he can come in and do well in the international window and show he can do it at international level, there's a good opportunity that he could be kept to play in the Premier League next season with Bournemouth and be their first choice. So that's why I've gone with him. I'm going to go with a back three. And the first name on the team sheet for me has to be Nathan Collins, the way he's played these last two games, and probably since the Lithuania game. He's come in there and he's finished the season magnificently with Burnley. Personally, obviously the club got relegated, but he himself was outstanding in the games that he did play, and he's shown that and brought that form into the Ireland camp, and he looks like he's the most informed player out of the whole squad. So I've gone with him there. He came in and done the press conference with Stephen Kenny as well, so he seems to be happy enough. But I'm going to go beside him Shane Duffy, and I'd put him as captain. I think he's going to be the leader at the back and the one talking and the one getting the players around him going, and I think that's what we need. Duffy will know a lot of the Scottish players from obviously his time at Celtic, so he'll know about a lot of them, and obviously his time in the Premier League, so he'll know of the players there and he'll be familiar with them. And I think just having him there in the middle of the back three, I think that would make most sense. And I'd put Darragh O'Shea to the left of him. He obviously came on for John Egan the other night in the game, and I think he's just like for like. He's good on the ball, he's well able to step in to try and break the press, and he's a very good defender as well, and he's tidy on the ball as well as obviously put his head in anywhere. He's a warrior. So I think those three would be a solid back three, and I don't think that makes us any worse than we were with John Egan in the team, to be fair. I think anytime Darragh O'Shea's come in and played for Ireland, I think he's done a really good job, and I think that he's reliable, and Stephen Kenny really trusts him, and I think he's shown that even during the COVID days. So that's who I've gone with. I have two wing backs on the right hand side. I'm going to go with Festi Abuzelli. That might be a risk if he's coming up against Andy Robertson as a left wing back, but I think we're going to need pace on that side, and I think it could be a good test for him. I just think with Cyrus, I don't think it's going to work out, and we need someone to try and get at the opposition rather than letting them attack us. I feel as though if we can kind of match up with a bit of freshness in there, I think we could maybe take the game a little bit to Scotland. I know people probably don't think that from watching us recently, but I think with fresh pace in the team, I think that could help us. And I think with Festi, he's obviously signed with Udinese, and he's had a really good season under Wayne Rooney at Derby. I know they got relegated as well, but you know, if it was on football terms, they wouldn't have been relegated. He's got his move to Serie A as well, so it could be an interesting chance to get a look at him. Down the left, I'm going to go, just to add a bit of experience because there's a bit of youth in this team, I'm going to go with Mclean. Just think that if you're going to have so many young players in this team, you've got to have a bit of balance with experienced players. So I'm going with James Mclean in there. He's come off the bench for Enda Stevens in the last two games. Enda hasn't played his best football in the last two games. I'm sure he knows himself that he can be better, and I'm sure he will be better, but maybe he needs to just be rested for this one. And I think Mclean coming in, he's been the one that every time Stephen Kenny's ever looked for a reaction in games, he's brought in Mclean. So I think it just makes sense to bring him in there. I think that'll be his 93rd cap if he gets it. So he's obviously chasing that 100 caps as well. So I think it makes sense just to bring him in. I'm not saying it just for the sake of getting him capped. I just mean if you're going to mix it up with youth, you might as well have a bit of experience in there. Josh Cullen for me has to start. I know if he has a yellow card, he'll miss the next game, so that might come into Stephen Kenny's thinking. And same with Jeff Hendrick. So I've gone with Josh in there. I think has to be in there. I think himself and Nathan Collins are the two that always have to be picked. I think if they're fit and they're available to play. Then Jason Malumbi alongside him to give us that energy in midfield that I think we've been lacking under Hendrick. I think he's good for 45 minutes, but then the second half he tends to fade. Now, is that his fault? I don't know. Maybe it's Stephen Kenny's fault for not subbing him sooner in games. But I think the 2 games that he played in so quick a time, I think it'd be nice to give Jason Malumbi a run in there in midfield and just see what he can do. And it could be a game where Malumbi takes his opportunity and makes the shirt his own then going forward. So we'll wait and see for that. Then I'm going to go with 2 number 10s or attacking midfielders, whatever way you want to call it. I'm going to go CJ Hamilton on the right hand side. I thought he was quite good and direct when he came on, and he helped change the game in Ireland's favour when he came on against Ukraine. And I think we need to kind of be a bit more direct and positive, and I think he could link up well on the right hand side with Vesti as well as the other strikers there. So that's where I've gone with him there. I think it makes sense. And yeah, I know I've said about experienced players, but like I think he's 27, so like he's experienced football for long enough. So I think he'll come in there and he'll be fine. Again, I'm trying to go with a mixed team here that has a good balance to it. So then on the other side, I'd have Jason Knight. Thought he was our best attacking player against Ukraine. I thought when he came on against Armenia, he looked like he was the one that was going to be the difference in the game. So every time he's played for Ireland, I think he's made a difference. So I think you have to start with him. I dropped Callum Robinson out of the team for this one. Just rest him. Again, like Hendrick, 2 games in such quick turnaround. I think for him might be a bit too much. Have him on the bench. Have him coming on as someone who can affect the game later on. So I'd pull him out, put Jason Knight in, and then up front I'd put Michael Obafemi starting up front. Again, looked lively against Ukraine and looks as though he's due a goal. I've picked him, I think, in my last 2 starting 11s, and he hasn't been in it, so I'm hoping third time lucky. This time he gets in, and hopefully he gets that first international goal. And if he gets an early goal, who's to say we can't go on and win the game 1 or 2-0? But it'll all depend, I think, on an early goal for us. So that's my starting 11. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who would you have? Would you play a different formation to me? And don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.